Okay, welcome chemistry students. I'm here to take you through another prac. I've got Richard Camilleri and Suad Camilleri here helping me, and they've set everything up, which is fantastic. Today we're doing prac 8.2 on page 184. Now this is a prac where you just get practice really making your own solution, diluting it, and Mrs. Camilleri has already made a solution for us to compare what we make to. So we're going to do that in a qualitative manner. So what that means is you need to know the difference between quantitative and qualitative. When we say quantitative, that means actual measurements, actual numbers, so that we can make an accurate comparison. Qualitative comparison means that we're going to look at the intensity of colour of this solution and compare it to the range of solutions that we have, and therefore we're going to be able to give us a rough idea of what concentration this might be. Because the solutions that we make, we're going to know the exact concentration of. So let's begin. We're going to start, it tells you in the prac to start by weighing out 1 gram of potassium permanganate in 250 mils. If you're in class, you'd come up to a scale, you'd have a watch glass, you'd put the watch glass on the scale, you would zero the scale, and then you'd weigh out that 1 gram of potassium permanganate. I showed you how to do that before. We've got to be very accurate with this one, so we're going to, we need a 250 ml volumetric flask, which is just there. Sorry guys. This is the, we don't want to edit this, so we're just going to bumble through. So here's our 250 ml volumetric flask here. What I tend to do is have a bit of filter paper that I might crease and tip that into, but what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to use this funnel, okay, and I'm going to tip that directly in there. Remember I said we've got some solute left on the watch glass, so I'm just going to rinse that through, and look, you can see that purple colour. You can see how much of the moles of that substance I would have missed if I didn't do that, so that was nice. And then I'm going to rinse around the edge of the filter funnel as well, okay, to make sure I'm washing all the solute particles to get all of the moles of what I weighed out into my solution here. Okay, so I've done that, that's great. Then I'm going to fill this volumetric flask up to the graduated mark. I'm going to do it roughly first. Get most of it up in there, so I'll just do that. Okay guys, so we're at the point now where we're getting very close to the graduated mark on the volumetric flask. Once you get to this point, you've got to be very careful not to overshoot it, and you want to go sort of drop by drop until you get the meniscus at the bottom of the mark. Oh, this. And you can just add drop by drop. Take that out now because some drips will drip off of that. And we are pretty close there. That looks like the bottom of the meniscus at the graduated mark. Once you have been accurate then with that, place the seal on the top, put your finger in the top so it doesn't go anywhere, and then you just invert it 3 times. So there we have our accurate solution. The next step then is we have now made this solution over here, which is the 1 gram of potassium permanganate in 250 ml volumetric flask, and that's the exact concentration of that. Okay, if we follow this mathematical equation, number of moles of mass on molecular weight, 1 gram on the molecular weight of potassium permanganate gives us the number of moles we need, and then we can work out the concentration from that. The number of moles divided by the 0.25 litres gives us the concentration 0.0253 in that solution right there. So now, the next step then is Mrs. Camilleri is going to show you the dilution. It wants us to dilute this solution by a factor of 10. So what she's doing is she's decided to take 10 mils using the pipette, exactly 10 mils of that solution, and she's going to pipette that into another 100 ml volumetric flask and fill that up. Once she puts 10 mils in this 100 ml flask, or that 100 ml flask, that will be diluted by a factor of 10 as the prac asks us to do. All right? So that's the step that she's going through now. And then she's going to fill this. She's going to fill this up to the mark. Of course, you'll be doing it very carefully in an accurate way. We're doing it just as demonstration, so you get the idea. And you can notice already, hopefully, the difference in the colour. All right, and this is what I mean by a qualitative test. We're looking at the colour difference as we dilute these chemicals. Depending on the video quality, you may not be able to see much of a difference in colour, but obviously the more dilute one is lighter. Now, the next step is we've got to dilute this new solution by a factor of 10 again. So, in class you would rinse that out. We've got the benefit of having all the glassware to ourselves, so we've got a new one. And Mrs. Camilleri is going to then take 10 mils of this solution and put it in a 100 ml volumetric flask. That's diluting it by a factor of 10 again. And we're going to do this 4 times. And as you can see, we're gradually getting a more and more diluted solution as we go through. So she's demonstrating the correct technique, and if you were doing it in class, this is exactly how you would do it as well. And you can see clearly on this one that it's far lighter than the others. Wonderful. So that's that one, and we'll do one more. Again, a 10 ml pipette. So that's all the prac is really, guys. Making sure that you can make up a solution of known concentration, understand how you might dilute that in a physical way in the lab, using the correct glassware and the correct technique to be accurate. And once we have these 4 solutions, we're going to get our unknown solution that Miss Camilleri has made up. We're going to bring it close to these and qualitatively have a look and see what concentration it might be based, or which one it's closest to. Excellent. So if you get a close-up of just all those, you can see how the dilution is reducing the amount. Excellent. Thank you.